Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Kelly, if you've never been here before. I'm the lady with the crazy llama ears. So today, Llama talk to y'all about the things that I miss about being in the U.S. Did you catch my llama pun? Llama. Let me be great. I know it was corny. Just let me be great, okay? Indulge me. Anyway, so I did a video where I talked about the things that I did not miss about the U.S. and I'll put that in the cards above my little head somewhere up here. And so today I'm going to share with you guys the things that I actually do miss about the U.S. So the first thing that I think that if you're inside the U.S. you may take this for granted, but if you spent any time living abroad, you know that this is like, oh, I miss that. Cheap shipping. Y'all might take the U.S. Postal Service for granted, but when you are outside of the country and you're trying to send stuff or even receive it, I'm not even going to lie about that, because sometimes people send you stuff and you either never see it or you might see it 4 months later. So yeah, anyway, I was disappointed to find that shipping, no matter where I was in the world, is kind of a challenge when you want to send something into the U.S. So I'll give you an example. Many of you guys have heard me say that I'm teaching myself to sew, and I like to make purses. And every time I make a purse, somebody will say, oh, I really would love to be able to buy that. And so I decided I was going to give it a shot and sell my little wonky bags. And I put this particular bag on an internet site to sell, and I priced it at $33, thinking that I could partake in this particular website's discount shipping, only to find that they don't work with Mexico, which is where I happen to be currently residing. And so when I went to ship this particular bag, instead of it being reasonably priced, I priced the bag at $33. To ship the bag was $55. So needless to say, I'm not selling my bags in the U.S. because I would be paying people to buy my purses basically just in the shipping alone. So yes, I do miss that put it all in one box and pay one price kind of situation, or where you can calculate what your shipping prices are going to be in a very reasonable and easy manner. The other thing that I miss, if you will, about being in the U.S. is understanding and being understood. So when you go to different countries, you know, many people will, I'm sure, I know y'all done heard this in the U.S., when someone foreign is speaking, it's like, they need to learn the language. Well, guess what? When you go to other countries, you should probably do that very same thing. So in Thailand, I was doing what I called ghetto Thai. But I was at least learning the language. And here in Mexico, I came here already speaking some Spanish because of a trip that I took to Chile in 2014 for the sole purpose of learning how to speak Spanish. But that was 2014 and this is 2020. So I'm going off of memory from, 6 years ago. But so sometimes mi español es muy malo, me dice mi hablar similar a piedra. In other words, my Spanish is real bad and I tell folks I talk like a cave woman. Pero lo intento, but I try. So, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to get it right all the time. That doesn't mean they understand what the heck I'm talking about all the time. And because of, obviously it's a whole language, sometimes they're talking to me and I'm like, see? Okay, see? I don't know what the hell they're saying. So sometimes, being understood versus understanding can be a bit of a challenge, and I really do miss even sometimes if they understand what you're saying and you understand what they're saying, we have colloquialisms or nuances, if you will, that are American that other cultures just don't get or just don't pick up on. So kind of miss that. Okay, so something else that I do miss about being in the US is easy access to things that I guess you would probably take for granted. So I'll give you an example. I am teaching myself a plethora of different things to help me with, being constructive, staying off of social media, helping with depression and anxiety, blah, blah, blah. So one of the things that I said that I wanted to try was hydroponic gardening. And I learned how to get the seeds to sprout, and I've been watching all of these videos on how to do it, how to set up, like if you were gonna do different methods and whatnot. And so I started my little seeds and got all excited when they started growing roots and all of this. And I went to the Home Depot looking for the hydroponic chemicals or nutrients, sorry, not chemicals, the nutrients for these plants. And I got there and I was trying to tell the people that work there, or the person that I was talking to initially, that I was trying to start a garden that had no dirt. And man, you would have thought that I said I just found a six-headed man and I got a picture of it. So by the time it was all said and done, there's like 5 or 6 of us standing around, and I've got my cell phone out and I'm showing these different videos, and they're still like, we don't have that. And so I came home and I looked online. I just took for granted that I would be able to easily go out and find these nutrients. And then I came back to the house and I got on the computer and I was like, okay, well, where can I find these nutrients in the country? Can't. If you want nutrients for hydroponic growth, pretty much you're ordering from the US. So in the US, if I couldn't find it at Home Depot, there would have been a ton of other gardening centers that I could have gone to. And not only that, but you can do homemade nutrients. And one of the things that you need is calcium nitrate. Can't find that either. So I do miss being able to find the things that are available in most places. I don't know if I should say in most places. I know they're available in the US, let's put it that way, and you cannot get that stuff here. And depending on what the rules are for customs, you can't ship it in either. So that's another thing that I miss about being in the US. The other thing I miss about being in the US are familiar foods. And it's funny because if you are accustomed to, you know, pizza in a certain way, or you know, just different things that are American, let's put it that way. Coleslaw, like I like coleslaw. I'm a plant-based girl and I like coleslaw, and I actually like KFC's coleslaw. Well, KFC's coleslaw in the US is different than the coleslaw that is here in Mexico. The pizza that is made here is different than what it is in the US. Sushi, nobody told them that they're supposed to be bite-sized. You're supposed to typically, they like sandwiches down here, man, and they put some strange things in them. And so I really do miss familiar foods, and it's so funny that simple things like pizza, simple things like coleslaw are things that I would actually miss. So yeah, I kind of miss familiar foods, if you will. One more thing that I miss about being in America are stores that make sense. And what I mean by that is, again, talking about the hobbies that I'm teaching myself. Another hobby that you guys have heard me talk about a lot, I'm sure, is that I'm teaching myself to sew. And here you can find tons of fabric for a great price. So I do really love that. But here's what I don't love. You can go in the Joann Fabrics and you can find patterns, which I don't use because you can't find them here. You can find all of your scissors that you may need, if you need elastic, if you need zippers, if you need buttons, if you need ribbon. You can find all of that wherever you're buying your fabric. That is not the case here. So when I go to buy fabric, typically I'm able to get fabric and I'm able to get the thread, some ribbons in the same, and elastic in the same fabric place. But if you are like me, where you're making handbags or luggage or anything like that, and you need zipper by the yard, you've got to leave that place and go to a totally different place in order to be able to get your zippers and there are at least, if you're going to make a whole project, oftentimes you're going to go to at least 3 different places, because you're going to go someplace to get your fabric, you're going to go someplace to get your notions, and if you need new needles for your machine, or a new presser foot for your machine, or a healing mat, you know, for your sewing room, that's a totally different store. So I do miss the idea of being able to go into one place and get it all, versus having to go to 3 different places. Especially some days my energy is not down for those 3 places, but I got a project in mind. And so yeah, I really do miss, you know, kind of what I guess I would call one-stop shopping. Alright guys, well this certainly isn't a full comprehensive list any more than my things that I don't miss about the US. Certainly not a full comprehensive list, but it's a start, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will decide that you're going to subscribe. Typically, if you've not been here before, welcome, thank you for being here, but I usually talk about either lupus or my life abroad, and so I appreciate your time and your time and your viewership, I guess. And I'll see you guys next go round. Ciao.